Good morning, all of you. Let's begin today's session. All right. Today's session we are going to cover a topic that is called as pattern matching, which is closely associated with another terminology that is called as wildcards. Right. Now, before we dwell into the technical aspect about what exactly you mean by pattern matching, let us first try to understand that how basically shell behaves with respect to characters at at various places. All shell, that's what I have sent you the information that all shells has capability of using some or the other characters to represent the things other than themselves. So we will see what exactly you mean by other than themselves. But whenever shell uses these type of characters, they have got special meaning. They are actually called as wildcard characters. And this concept of wildcard they have taken from the analogy of that card games where uh, you have a very important and most powerful card in your games of cards, that is joker, which can be used anywhere, right? So in shell also, as far as unix is concerned, these wildcard characters are also called as meta characters. Now, the definition of this particular wildcard goes, in a very simple fashion. That is, it is defined as a character that can stand all members of some or the other category of the characters. So basically, what happens internally is when you use a wildcard, the computer system substitutes the members of that particular class in place of wildcard. Okay, so the theoretical concept looks to be a little bit confusing unless you don't understand this concept of wildcards or meta characters with the help of example. Okay, so let us directly jump into the examples and see how basically this wildcards plays a vital role in the world of Unix operating system, right? So there are a couple of wildcards in Unix operating system which has got a very special role to play. They are actually used to match the either the file name. Now, when I say either the file name, it actually matches the entire file, or depending upon your application, you can also make these special characters to match part of your file name. That is part and partial of your file name. Okay, so let us see what are these special characters all about and how you can use in the world of Unix. So just make a note. The first character is question mark. The first character is question mark, which represents a single character. Understand very slowly. The first wildcard or meta character is called as question mark, which stands for or which represents one single character. Okay. Now let us take examples for all these meta characters. Now what I want to use, I have created a directory called as October 22. That is for today's date. And if you look at the files available in this particular directory, as of now, I do not have any files, right? So the directory is totally empty. Now I am going to create some files. So let us say cat greater than a. I'll just say this is a file. Okay, so now I have one file, that is a. What I'll do is I'll copy this a to b. So I have now two files, and then I'll copy a to test1, and I'll also copy a to test2. Okay, now I have how many files? I have 4 files. Okay, I have 4 files. Now if you want, I can also have some more files. CPA to AA, CPB to BBB. That doesn't matter because the contents are same, and this discussion has got not much to do with the contents of the file. It are the discussion on pattern matching or wildcard as of now is totally related to the file itself and not the contents of the file. Okay, and so I think I have a couple of files now, right? So what I want is I want all of you to make a note of this output so that you have files with you, and down the line it will help you to answer my questions. So just make a note of the command as well as the output that is available on your screen. Okay, now we had seen the first meta character, that is question mark, and as I said, it represents any single character. Okay, question mark represents one single character, and that one is any character, but it should be only one. Okay, now watch out. When you say ls, you will get list of all the files which are available in the current directory, and our current directory, which is October 22, has got totally 6 files, right? So now what happens, I will say ls, say question mark, correct? So here what happens is operating system will substitute one character in place of question mark. Please understand, right? So basically how shell interprets the meta character is, right, you need to understand the difference between what is actually typed on the command line and what the command eventually sees when the shell passes it as an argument. Now here, the question mark acts as an argument to the ls command. Watch out carefully. The question mark acts as an argument to the ls command. So what happens? One character will be substituted in place of question mark. It can be any character, it does not matter, right? So since ls displays names of the file, the ls followed by question mark, the significance of this is ls question mark will display, make a note, ls question mark will display names of all files whose length is one character. ls question mark displays names of all files whose length is one character. Okay, now when you look at the ls output, just previous line, there are 6 files. Out of these 6 files, there are 2 files whose length is only one character, right? That is A, that is file name A, and another one is file name B. And hence, the output of ls question mark will be A and B. Got it, all of you? The output of ls question mark is A and B. So that is what you mean by question mark represents any single character. So please make a note of the command ls question mark followed by the output also. Okay, next I'll give you a couple of examples and then I'll give you time to ask any doubts. I will say ls 2 question marks. Okay, so what this does, this will display names of all files. Take a note, ls 2 question mark. This will display names of all files whose length is 2, irrespective of the character, whose length is 2 irrespective of the character, right? So how many files are there in your current working directory whose length is 2? It's only one file, that is file AA, and hence the output of ls 2 question mark in this case will be AA. What I will do is I'll have a copy of AA to BB also, and then I will show you ls. Now I have one more extra file, right? Let me give you one more example. Take down ls followed by a question mark. ls followed by a question mark. This will display names of all files. This will display names of all files whose length is 2. This will display names of all files whose length is 2, but first character is A, but first character should be A and irrespective of the second character. First character should be A and irrespective of the second character. Okay. Now watch out carefully. You have 7 files, out of which there are 2 files AA and BB. Okay, AA and BB, whose length is 2. Correct. But out of these 2 files, AA is the only file whose starting character is A. Got it, all of you? AA is the only file whose starting character is A, and hence the output of this command will be AA. Understand? So it very clearly tells you that when you give a question mark, it says display names of those files whose length is 2 irrespective of the second character, but the first character should be A. Okay, so this is how the interpretation goes for this particular command. Now I'll give you one more variation of this. I'll say ls question mark B. Okay, this will display names of all files whose length is 2. Second character should be B irrespective of the first character. Make a note if you want. ls question mark B means display names of all files whose length is 2. Second character should be B, that is small b, because it is case sensitive. Second character should be B irrespective of the first character. Irrespective of the first character. Correct? So what will be the output? BB, because the second character is B and irrespective of the first character it can be anything. In this case it is BB, right? So I can also just say CP BB to BC, right? And then if I say ls I have, and now if I say question mark B, okay, it will still display BB because it is BC, right? So what I can do is I can I'll say ls question mark, correct? So it will display how many files? 2 files. The starting character should be B irrespective of the second character. So it will display BB and BC, right? So that is the meaning of question mark, which stands for representing any single character. Okay, representing any single character. Take down next. The second meta character, that is star. Second meta character is star. It is called as asterisk operator. It is called as asterisk operator, which represents any arbitrary character string, which represents any arbitrary character string, right? So in short, what you can say is like this. See, question mark substitutes one character, right? On the other hand, star substitutes series of characters. Simple way to understand. Question mark substitutes one character, star substitutes series of characters, right? It can be anything, it does not matter, right? It will just substitute any number of characters, right? Let us take few examples. I will say ls star. You will get the output of ls star, which is same as ls. So it does not make any difference whether you give ls or you give ls star, because here anyhow ls will display names of all the files of your PWD. ls star will also do the same job, because star, it just substitutes every character. right? It will substitute A, it will substitute AA, it will substitute TEST1 of test1. So like that, it will substitute every character, and hence the output of ls star is same as ls. Let us take some more examples. To be more specific, I will say ls a star. Watch out carefully. Okay, ls a star. Make a note. This will display names of all files. This will display names of all files whose starting character is A, and irrespective of remaining characters and length. Whose starting character is A, irrespective of remaining characters and length. Right? So, how many files are there whose starting character is A? There are two files, A and AA. Right? And star means irrespective of the remaining characters and the length of it. Correct? So, here I have one file with A, so that will satisfy the condition. Here I have another file with AA, right? So the first A matches, and the star, for star, the second A gets matched, right? So the output will be two files, one is A and one is AA. The same thing can be done in a different way with a combination of question mark as well as star. But of course, it depends upon the files that are available in your PWD. Now, I can also say ls t star, correct? So it is also the same, it works in the same manner as that of the previous command. ls t star means display names of all files whose starting character is t, irrespective of the length and the characters. So this will display how many files? Two files, test1 and test2, right? But you see the difference. Instead of star, if I put question mark, right, it will say no such file or directory, because there is no file which starts from T and whose length is 2. Please understand, there's a difference, right? There is a difference between T star and T question mark, right? T star means display names of all files whose starting character is T, irrespective of other characters and the length. On the other hand, T question mark andre display names of all files whose starting character is T, irrespective of the second character, but length should be 2, right? And among all the files that is there in your PWD, there is no file which starts from T having length 2. So that is the prime reason it will give you an error message called as no such file or directory. So you can use the combination of both these wildcards, that is question mark as well as star, right? Now, let me give you this one. Okay, ls star question mark, right? ls star question mark. Okay, now just type the answer in the chat box. Will this work? Okay, so correct, it will work, right? See, but tell me, even though it works, does it make any meaning? It does not make any meaning, right? It is stupidity from the programmer's point of view that you use question mark as a meta character as a part of star, which itself is another meta character, right? See, the common sense is the star will display, anyhow it will substitute all the characters. So what great you are achieving by giving question mark? Illodi, I still end up getting the same answer. Okay, so a combination of star and question mark is of no use actually, correct? So it's just a combination, you can do it, but then the output is still uh, the same which you can achieve with the help of only star, right? So basically the combination of these wildcards should be made in such a way that it gives you some meaningful output, right? So ls star question mark athwa ls question mark star, or some people are more intelligent, they will say question mark star question mark. Correct. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವರು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್. Correct. All this is stupidity, even though you get the output, but it is not so professional to get the output in this particular fashion. Okay. So that is the meaning of second meta character, that is called as asterisk operator. Okay. Let me create some more files for all of you. I'll say cp a, I'll say a1, a2, a11, a22. Okay, so I have these files. Okay, good. Take down the third set of meta character, that is called as range. That is called as range. Make a note. Brackets, brackets, it is square brackets, opening and closing, right? Brackets, enclose a list of characters, enclose a list of characters where the match is on for any single character enclosed in the brackets. Okay, so range means it is denoted in a pair of opening and closing square brackets, which means you enclose a list of characters where the match is on for any single character which is enclosed in the brackets. Now let us see this with an example. I'll say ls a square bracket open 1 2 3 square bracket close. Take a note of this and be careful. ls space a square bracket open 1-3, right? Now whatever you have enclosed in square bracket, correct, that is 1-3, that is considered as only one character. Understand, right? It is considered as one character and a is another character. Okay, now just make a note of the meaning of this. A square bracket 1-3 square bracket close, right? Displays names of all files, displays names of all files whose starting character is a, displays names of all files whose starting character is a, whose length is 2, be careful, whose length is 2, but second character is either either 1 or 2 or 3. The second character is either 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, so how many files are there whose starting character is A? So there are totally 6 files all the way from here to here. Now out of 6 files, okay, how many files are having length 2? A1, A2 and AA. Got it all of you? Length 2 you have A1, okay, I'm just writing for your reference, A2 and AA. Got it all of you? Out of these 3 files, all the 3 files have got starting character as A and length is 2. Okay, A22 barala, okay, because the length is 3. A11 barala because the length is 3. A also will not come because it is length is 1. So these 3 files comes. Now the starting character is A, that condition is satisfied. But the second character should be either 1 or 2 or 3. So this hyphen which you have put between 1 and 3, that acts as range and it is enclosed in pair of opening and closing square bracket. Got it? I'll repeat once again. That hyphen acts as a range which you have written in between 1 to 1 and 3. So you have written as 1 hyphen 3. That means 1 to 3. 1 to 3. TO. And that range is enclosed in a pair of opening and closing square bracket. And hence what happens? The second character can be either 1 or 2 or 3. I repeat, the second character can be either 1 or 2 or 3. Angidaga, AA will not come. Do you agree? AA will not come. So I have only 2 files, that is A1 and A2, and both these files, A1 and A2, satisfy my condition, and hence what happens? The output of this command is A1 and A2. The output of this command is A1 and A2. Now, I'll give another variation of this. Instead of A, what I'll do is I'll put a question mark. Okay, I'll put a question mark, right? So, what is the interpretation of this? This will display names of all files whose length is 2, but the second character should be either 1 or 2 or 3, irrespective of the first character. That is the interpretation. So be careful with the interpretation because that is how they ask in the interviews. Now, even though the output is same, but the interpretation is different. That is because what happens, suppose if I have another file whose starting character is B, right? So I'll just put it for you, CP A2B3, right? Now watch out what happens. This will display the 3 files because irrespective of the first character. On the other hand, if I do this, it will still display only 2. Please understand, here you are giving the condition that first character should be A, but illy you are not giving any such condition. You are telling that the first character can be anything. That is why in the first case you are getting 3 files as the output, but in the second case you are getting 2 files as the output. Okay. Take your time. I'll give few seconds gap. Don't worry. I'll be pausing for all of you purposely so that you can have a look at the output which is there on your screen. Okay, I'll clear the screen and then I'll once again show you ls. Okay, now there is one more way of giving the range, right? Now watch out carefully. ls a to c. Okay, ls square bracket open, a hyphen c square bracket close. This will display names of all files. This will display names of all files whose length is 1 This will display names of all files whose length is 1 and the character should be either A or B or C. Okay, and the character should be either A or B or C. Right? So what is the output? A and B. Okay. Now the same thing I can give like this also. Please understand. Hyphen stands for a range, right? So instead of that, I can also give ABC. Of course, here it does not make much difference from the programmer's point of view, because when you give A hyphen C, you are typing 3 characters, and when you are giving ABC, here also you are typing 3 characters. So it doesn't make much difference, but difference makes when you give like this A hyphen G, right? So A hyphen G is much better than to give A, B, C, D, E, F, G, correct? Where you are typing 7 characters, here you can type only 3 characters, A hyphen G, right? So that is how the square brackets basically plays a very important role in pattern matching or in wildcards. Have special meanings in some context or the other. A lot of keys have special meanings in some in some context or the other. Full stop. Quoting is used to remove. Quoting, QUOTING, is used to remove the special meaning of characters I'm sorry, Chandan, I saw your question now. I'll get back to your question. Just give me 2 minutes. Quoting is used to remove the special meaning of characters or words. Quoting is used to remove the special meaning of characters or words. Let us see some of the meta characters which can be quoted in the world of Unix. You can take down the first one. The first character is slash, which is escape character, which is called as backslash. Slash or backslash, which is called as escape character, right? So just make a note. Escape characters are used to remove. Escape characters are used to remove the special meaning. Escape characters are used to remove the special meaning from a single character. From a single character, right? So let us take an example. I say echo hello. I'm sorry, echo hello, right? So let us see the output of this, correct? So that is the output. Now what I'll do is I'll use backslash and then I will use hello, correct? But I will use slash and then I'll use hello, right? Okay, now I have prefixed the double quotes with slash in both the places, at the beginning as well as at the end, right? So Yoga, what happens is in the earlier case, this double quotes, whatever is there in the pair of opening and closing double quotes, it is treated as a string and your echo will output it as hello. So double quotes has got nothing to do as far as output is concerned. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have quoting for that particular double quote with the help of my backslash escape mechanism, correct? Now what happens, since the double quote is preceded with slash, its meaning gets changed, right? And now when its meaning gets changed, it is going to be the part of your echo command itself, and hence when I press enter key, I will get double quotes also in the output. So this is what you mean by escape character, which is called as backslash. Okay. Then second one, single quotes. It stands like this, right? Single quotes, right? Which is just below double quotes on the right side of your keyboard, just adjacent to the enter key. Single quotes. Take down. They are used to preserve they are used to preserve the literal value of each character within the quotes. Literal value of each character within the quotes. Right. So let us take a simple example. So let me try it out. This one, echo. I'll just say echo. Let me see how this works. Unix is awesome. It gives an error, right? So this will not work. So I can precede this with a slash, and okay, why should I waste time in typing? I can go directly and then I can precede this with slash, this with slash. I hope you are getting it. Try to understand what I'm doing. Every occurrence of less than and greater than, I am preceding with slash so that I am quoting it, escaping it to preserve the less than and greater than in this example. Great. So I could get less than and greater than as a part of my output in the echo command, right? The same thing I can achieve with the help of single quote. That's what it says. It is used to preserve the literal value of each character within the quote, literal value of each character within the quote. So anyway, let me not have this. I'll go back to the original one, this one. Yeah, this one. You know, this was giving error, right? Syntax error near unexpected token. Now this, I will enclose entire stuff in single quote. Watch out carefully. So this is what it says. The single quote is actually used to preserve the literal value of each character within the quotes. Within the quotes, andre, this one and this one. Okay, opening and closing single quote. Preserve the literal value andre, this one, less than and greater than, again less than and greater than. So it will preserve the literal value of these characters, and hence what happens, the output is exactly same as this one, correct? So instead of using escape mechanism, how many times, 1 2 3 4 5 6, so in this case, instead of using the escape mechanism 6 times, it is better you enclose this entire stuff which acts as a parameter to your echo command in a pair of opening and closing single quote, right? So that is the meaning of preserving the literal value. Just make a note of all the 3 lines output. I mean, you can give anything as input to the echo command. I just wrote Unix is awesome. Okay, let us move to the next one. We are going to totally have a look at four types of quoting the meta characters, out of which we are done with two: the escape, that is backslash, and then single quote. The next one is double quotes, and you know very well it is denoted like this: double quotes. Just make a note. The use of double quotes character, the use of double quotes character affect, AFFECT, affect how, how spaces and tab, affects how spaces and tab characters are treated, how spaces and tab characters are treated. Of course, this double quotes is self-explanatory. So just have a look at the example. I'll just say echo hello, and then I'll give couple of blank space, and then I will say world, right? So you're all familiar, and your favorite line is hello world, because probably this was the first program you would have written in C. Printf bracket open hello world, right? So default de facto standard of majority of the computer science people, not computer science, by and large everybody across the globe, you write hello world, right? Now just see, I'm not doing anything great here. See the output, right? In the input, what I gave here, there was quite good number of blank spaces, right? But the output is only having one blank space, right? So what I do is, I want the output with blank space, so I just enclose it in a pair of opening and closing double quotes. And the meaning you have already studied in your strings topic in C programming language. So whatever is there in the pair of opening and closing double quotes is nothing but cut and paste on your monitor, right? Now you see the difference. So you have gap between the two words, that is hello and world. Okay, so that is how basically your double quotes works in Unix as a meta character. Okay, now let us look at the last one, back quote, right? The fourth type of meta character is called as back quote, or you can say back quotes, because it is a pair. So we always use plural back quotes. Make a note. They are actually used to execute a command. They are actually used to execute a command. Anything enclosed between them, anything enclosed between them will be treated as a command. So be careful. Anything enclosed between them will be treated as a command, and then it would be executed. And then it would be executed. Full stop. Also called as, this is a common question asked in interview, back quotes, they are also called as ascent graves. Make a note, it's there on your screen. Back quotes are also called as ascent graves, right? Now let us give, let me give you an example. I'll just clear. Oh, I'll just give you echo. I just say today's date is date. Correct? Now what's the output of this command? So the output of this today's date is date, right? So output is same because everything is treated by echo command, or everything acts as input to the echo command. But then I want to give a special meaning to this particular word date, right? What is that special meaning? This particular date, I want it to be treated as a command and not a text. The fact that it was treated as a text, you got that output here, alva, date. But then I want this DATE to be treated as a command, and that is where your back quotes comes into picture, what is called as ascent graves. So what I'll do is I'll just put this DATE in a pair of opening and closing ascent graves. Please understand there is a difference between ascent graves and single quote. I repeat, there is a difference between ascent graves and single quote, right? The single quote is just below the double quotes on the key, that is on the right side of the keyboard adjacent to enter key. But this ascent graves, that is back quote, is on the top left side of your keyboard, just below your escape key. It is associated with tilde character. Okay, so on one key of your keyboard you have tilde character, and just below that tilde character you have this single quote, single back quote to be very specific. So this back quote is called as ascent graves. So aವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, this will be now treated as a command. That is what I said. Anything enclosed between them will be treated as a command, and then it will be executed. And hence what happens? You will get the output as today's date is Thursday, October 22 and all, right? So this is nothing but the output of your date command. Am I right? It is output of your date command, and this one, today's date is nothing but your text in the echo command, right? So you can just do the date also. You will get the same output what you got it here. Okay, so that is the meaning of ascent graves or back quotes, right? You can also put it like this: echo people working are, right? Put ascent graves, put WHO, that's it. Right? So of course I'm the only guy who is working. Login name is admin1, so I am getting it as admin1, right? So suppose if more number of people are working, then you will get it. Let us also see one more: echo long listing of files are, you just say ls minus l. Okay, so since it's a echo, it will club everything in one. Of course, you can make it in a much better way from the readability point of view. But then the point is not that to worry much. The point is how ascent graves works in Unix operating system. Okay, just also make a note. This is also called as command substitution, right? Frequently asked question in interviews. This is also called as command substitution, right? So let me sum up. What we have done in the second half of today's session is we discussed on quoting meta characters, wherein we finished the discussion on wildcards and pattern matching. In quoting meta characters, we saw 4 types of characters which plays a special role or which has got a special meaning, right? One is escape character, which is backslash. Second one is single quotes. The third one is double quotes, and the fourth one is ascent graves or back quotes, right? So for all those who are doing mini project, please keep in mind that once you are done with shell programming, right, in shell programming you are going to use ascent graves quite good number of times, right? You will see extensive use of ascent graves as a part of your shell programming, for the development of your project. Okay, so that's all my agenda for today's class. I'll just give you some time. If you have any doubts, please. All right, I think nobody is having any doubts. right? So that's all for today's class. Take care and stay safe, all of you. Thank you very much.